A delicate pale green insect lands near your porch light at night, wings so thin and finely veined they look like they were cut from lace. Most people either ignore it completely or brush it away without a second thought. That's a mistake, because this fragile-looking little insect might be doing more unpaid work in your garden than anything else living out there. This is a lacewing, and the adult you're looking at is honestly the boring half of the story. It's mostly harmless and mostly gentle, with soft, narrow wings that fold up like a tiny tent when it rests, bright golden or coppery eyes, and a slow, fluttery flight that makes it look like it's barely holding itself together in the air. Adults mostly feed on nectar, pollen, and a sugary substance called honeydew that aphids leave behind on leaves. If you actually pick one up, it can release a genuinely unpleasant smell as a defense, which is honestly the closest thing to dangerous this adult insect ever gets. The real story, the part that actually earns this insect the title of garden guardian, happens before it ever grows those lacy wings at all. Lacewing larvae look almost nothing like their parents, and once you know what to look for, they're honestly a little unsettling. Flattened, segmented, vaguely lizard-like bodies, with a pair of long, curved, hollow mandibles jutting out from the front like a set of tiny sickles. People who study them gave them a fitting nickname, aphid lions, and that name is not an exaggeration. This larva is a full-time predator from the moment it hatches, and it is spectacularly good at its job. Here's exactly how it feeds. Those hollow mandibles work like a pair of syringes. The larva clamps onto its prey, injects digestive enzymes directly into the body, and waits as those enzymes liquefy the insides from the inside out. Then it simply sucks out the dissolved contents, left with nothing behind but an empty, hollowed husk. Across its entire larval stage, a single lacewing larva can eat anywhere from 100 to 600 aphids, and it's not picky about the menu either. Going after mealybugs, mites, thrips, whiteflies, small caterpillars, and the eggs of other insects with the exact same efficiency. If that wasn't strange enough, some species of lacewing larvae have developed one of the more bizarre disguises in the insect world. Using small bristles that cover their backs, these larvae actually pile debris on top of themselves, dead plant matter, bits of lichen, and most disturbingly, the hollowed-out husks of the very aphids they just finished eating. Over time, a larva can become so completely covered in this self-made pile of trash and corpses that it becomes almost unrecognizable, walking around disguised as a moving clump of garden debris. Researchers who study them have literally nicknamed this behavior trash bug camouflage. It's not just decoration either. It hides the larva from birds and other predators looking for an easy meal, and it also fools ants that would otherwise recognize and attack a lacewing larva if it weren't covered in the exact same debris the ants are used to ignoring. Now, before any of that hunting even begins, lacewings have to solve a much more basic problem, keeping their own eggs from getting eaten, sometimes by their own siblings. Their solution is genuinely unique in the insect world. A female lacewing touches the tip of her abdomen to the underside of a leaf, then slowly pulls away, stretching out a thin silk thread that hardens almost instantly into a stiff little stalk. She places a single egg right at the very top of that stalk, elevated well above the leaf surface, safely out of reach of crawling ants, mites, and even the larvae of her own species that would happily eat an egg sitting flat on a leaf if given the chance. Adult lacewings have another trick worth knowing about, one that has nothing to do with hunting and everything to do with simply staying alive. Some species can actually detect the ultrasonic clicks bats use to hunt at night, picking up those signals through specialized structures built directly into the veins of their own wings. The instant one of these lacewings senses a bat closing in, it folds its wings shut mid-flight and just drops straight out of the air, letting itself fall to the ground rather than risk getting caught. For an insect that already looks like it's barely capable of flying in a straight line, that's a surprisingly effective way to survive a midnight ambush. Even how lacewings find each other to mate is stranger than you'd expect. Males vibrate their abdomen against the surface they're standing on, sending a kind of private song through the plant stem itself rather than through the air. A nearby female feels that vibration through her legs and answers back with her own matching rhythm, and the two of them go back and forth like a duet no human ear could ever pick up on without specialized equipment. Different species even have distinct songs, meaning two lacewings that look completely identical to us can still tell each other apart just by the rhythm of that silent, vibrating call. Put all of that together, and you've got an insect that spends its youth as a relentless, disguised predator, protects its own eggs with a genuinely clever piece of engineering, and survives its adult life dodging bats using built-in ears hidden inside its own wings. This is exactly why farmers and gardeners actually buy lacewing eggs on purpose, releasing them directly into greenhouses and fields specifically to let those larvae loose on aphid outbreaks before they get out of control. And yet, this is also one of the most commonly needlessly killed insects around outdoor lighting, swatted on porches or wiped out in bulk by bug zappers that can't tell the difference between a pest and one of the most effective natural pest controllers a garden could ask for. So the next time a fragile-looking green insect lands near your porch light, maybe let it be. It's not bothering you, and there's a very good chance its offspring are already working through the aphids on your plants for free. If this changed the way you look at the bugs hanging around your porch light, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who've been ignoring one of the best allies their garden actually has. Let me know in the comments, had you ever noticed a lacewing before? Or did you always assume it was just another random bug? Subscribe if you want more videos uncovering the truth behind the tiny creatures nobody bothers to look at twice. See you in the next one.